It's the coolest new hobby out there and has incredible applications for everything from real estate marketing to television news. We are talking about drones, but the FAA is putting tough new restrictions on them because of all the obvious potential for trouble. Adam Cellini is here to explain. Adam?
Yeah, Alan, by the end of the holiday season, there could be more than 1 million new drones in the skies, but only a fraction of those will have to follow those FAA's new rules.
Gene Payson may be one of the most qualified drone pilots on the Sun Coast. He spent the first half of the year and nearly $10,000 getting his pilot's license to avoid Federal Aviation Administration penalties while flying his drone for surveying jobs.
It was grueling. I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours studying because you have to know everything there is to know because they want you to not kill yourself, obviously.
Days after he passed, the FAA passed Part 107, their long-anticipated rules for commercial drone users. Drones used commercially must now stay below 400 feet and 55 pounds and can only be flown during the day and within the pilot's eyesight. They also can't fly within 5 miles of any airport without 90 days notice.
I think what the FAA did was correct. They came out with a set of rules that was pretty tough and in some areas and lenient in others, but I think it was just the right blend.
Payson breezed through the simplified 60-question exam and earned an official UAS license. But for non-pilots, it can be tough. Local photographer Peter Lee will soon take his third crack at the test.
It's pretty hard because I didn't know anything about reading maps of like aerial type of maps and stuff.
But Lee will keep paying $150 per exam for the unique pictures drones can provide, and clients have come to expect.
They make certain shots really come alive or not.
So as those who wish to profit off of drones spend time and money seeking FAA approval, hobbyists like myself need only pay a $5 registration fee, and we can fly the same drone with none of the restrictions.
From August to November, only 5% of the nearly 600,000 drones registered under the FAA were for commercial use. The other 95%, flown by unlicensed pilots, exempt from all the FAA's new guidelines.
The people who are a little less cautious are people who are the hobbyists, and they don't really know all the rules even though they're supposed to.
Local drone retailer Get FPV says it's a big reason they expect up to a 40% increase in their holiday sales.
Hobbyists can get into the hobby with very minimal sort of input from the government. They have to register get a number and put the number on their drones.
But commercial user Jack Elka thinks training needs to be the next step for all drone users.
It's a written test for flying a drone. It's like taking a written test to drive a car. You got to get behind that wheel and show the guy that you can do it.
On Anna Maria Island, where he does aerial photography, Elka has also taken it upon himself to offer informal flight training.
The cat's out of the bag. There's millions of these out there, and what are you going to do? You can't take them away from kids.
Drone problems have yet to hit the Sun Coast, and if they did, the Sarasota Sheriff's Office tells us they would just leave it to the FAA to enforce. But the FAA admits almost every aspect of an unauthorized UAS flight investigation will likely fall onto local law enforcement. So who's regulating this? Payson believes lawyers will ultimately become the enforcers.
Everybody is super safety conscious in the United States because it's a very litigious society. So if anything goes wrong, they know they're going to get sued. They could get their license pulled. They could lose their job.
Now, licensed pilots can request exemptions from certain rules, and through November, the FAA has received nearly 3,000 of those requests. Alan?
All right, Adam, thank you.